Coach Hodges. It's
Coach Arias.
it's Election Tuesday. This could possibly be the third and final rabbit hole show ever. Lots of information flying around out there. Might be the end of the world. Who knows?
I hate that you brought up that immediately when the podcast started.
Yeah,
I'm
I
actually
know.
so
I know.
angry now.
I know you are a big politics guy. We really can't get you to shut up about it. So hopefully, hopefully this thing can get posted with no issues. We'll see. Maybe, maybe Elon's gonna have to buy YouTube at some point too. We need our freedom.
And in the wrestling news,
Yeah, yeah. College wrestling started.
yeah.
It was the first week of competition. Um, I know you were kind of down in Kansas City, but were you able to watch much?
So I've been bringing my laptop and HDMI cord so that we can plug it into the TV at hotels.
Very nice. Very nice.
We watched, we got to watch the Iowa versus Oregon State one.
That was a it was an entertaining duel. I mean, it was an entertaining duel. A couple lopsided ones, but I think there was 3 or 4 matches that kind of came down to the last 20 seconds. I know 25 did. I know 41 did. I know 97 did. Um, I can't remember if there were any other like super barn burners inside of that other than those three. But um, yeah, man, I'm glad that college wrestling's back on some kind of platform. Um,
Yeah.
the Iowa OSU duel was fun. My man Hipolito, this dude is full demon mode, permanently demon mode. He went. I watched the Virginia Tech Chattanooga duel, kind of. Some
Yeah.
technical streaming issues.
Yeah. I tried
Going
to
on
watch the replays and it was just,
16-bit, bro.
yeah. And 1 frame per minute.
Yeah, yeah. The FPS was super low.
It was 1 FPM.
um, but the guy's got he's got some real freaking skill, man. That kid is good.
Yeah.
He's
He's
a
explosive.
he's got some unorthodox let's say like mannerisms. He's gonna do some things that are a little out of pocket. Um, but he chose bottom, which I was really surprised to see because usually when you see guys like come into the sport of wrestling, they're like never choose bottom, right?
Well,
Like
did you see him do his standing Granby?
in the duel
No,
or
it was in the at the tournament.
I did not.
It was
Was it good or was
it
it
was it
terrifying?
was really good and terrifying. I mean, he was upside down before his foot hit the mat, I think.
Oh, oh. You know what
So,
though? That's electric. Let's go. This kid
no,
is
yeah.
he's must watch. Like I've got season alert turned on to watch Hippolito wrestle. I
Yeah.
am I am super excited to continue to watch this guy. He's a he's a powerful athlete who's gonna do things a little bit different. Like it feels like who was the VT kid that was kind of crazy?
Andonian.
Andonian just handed him the sticks. He was like, "Do what I do. Go crazy. Be entertaining. Let's have some fun." And I'm
Yeah.
here for it. So yeah, I mean, if I text some of my buddies who are like deep into fantasy wrestling, and I was like, pick him up. You just don't know. Pick him up. If you get a chance to get him, take him.
Yeah. Well, he's crazy, but
Well, I'm not saying.
he doesn't feel like a pinner. You know what I mean? There's crazy pinners and there's crazy.
Yeah, but I don't know what kind of league they're in. But my thing is like, I think most leagues get like 12 to 15 guys. So
No.
like, okay, you'll get a top 10 guy, and then when you circle back around, he's a dude worth taking.
Yeah.
I mean, he's at the very least, he's gonna. At the very least, if you take him, you're gonna watch him, which means that you're gonna enjoy the season a lot more.
Yeah.
So
Well, if you want a crazy pinner, Sonny Sasso, I don't think he's won a match not by pin yet.
That's what you were saying.
He pinned in his duel, and he pinned in the first period of all of his matches in the tournament. I'm pretty sure.
That's sick.
Yeah. So
The big buck bonus.
yeah,
A lot of these programs do like pledge for pins type things. So Sammy Sasso's out here just getting the school some money, and then they're just turning it right back over to him.
yeah, yeah.
Get that NIL deal. Um, man, do you think? Huh. This is a little off topic, but if I'm Sonny Sasso, if I'm the NCAA pin leader, I'm building that into my NIL deal. Hey, if I am the NCAA pin leader at the end of the season, I want an extra 10 grand. Little incentive based NIL marketing scheme there.
That'd be sick. And
That would be,
I guess you can do it.
yeah. You can ask
So
for whatever you can ask for whatever you want. Freaking America, my guy. So yeah, it was good. There were a couple notable, I guess notable upsets, right? Like the very first night, Terrell Bearclaw, who's at Utah Valley now, transferred from Penn State. He got a nice win over Hunter Garvin. Um, you know, that was a top 10 matchup. I think it was 7 versus 3. So,
yeah,
you know, not a tremendous upset, but I'm sure it's been a little, maybe a little more difficult than maybe Hunter expected transitioning back into folk style after spending a lot of time training Greco all summer. I'm sure Hunter Garvin will still be a real threat come March after plenty more time training folk style. But that's a good win for Bearclaw. Um, Number 2, Anthony Noto lost to Ethan. I can't even say his last name, bro. Bergnac,
um,
Army kid.
yeah,
Lost 4-1 in overtime. So Noto was ranked number 2 and takes an early season loss, but he lost early last year too and responded late. So it's November wrestling. It matters, but it's hard to really put too much stock into it. It's kind of like make some adjustments, get your lungs back under you, get back into the room a little bit more, maybe take things a little more serious. I don't know. November wrestling.
yeah.
But then I thought the most interesting run of the weekend was Ben Davino. Ben Davino had himself a tournament at the. Was he at Clarion Open or were they at the South?
It was the Clarion Open.
Yeah, that dude had a little pop off weekend.
Yeah, yeah. He
Yeah,
beat his teammate in the finals, Nick Bouzakis.
yeah. The round before that, he took out like the number 20 kid too. So that's pretty cool. That's a good way to start your season. I seriously doubt there's any conversation at all at this point about doing anything like wrestling him over Buzakis, but it's nice to know you've got it's nice to know you've got a little demon in the side just on the bench ready to go.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they'll put him in for a couple duels or something, or what? He's got 5 dates.
Probably 4 more now. Yeah,
Well, was he unattached there?
I have no idea, but
So
um, he does get 5 dates, so
yeah,
you know, rest him if you need to. But also, I am just I am super excited for Alirez and Mendez to wrestle. Both of those dudes look like just madmen this weekend.
yeah,
That's gonna be a. I am looking forward to that clash if that happens. That's gonna be a ton of fun.
yeah. Mendez looks really good right away.
Yeah, they're both at the same weight, aren't they?
41.
I hope so.
I think so. I'm pretty sure because Alira's right. They wrestled a duel against Missouri.
Yeah, and he beat Edmond.
Yes.
So, dude, 141 is a fun weight, man. It is a fun weight. These top 10 guys are 11, 12. These top 15 guys are super entertaining to watch.
Yeah, it always.
Alirez, Mendez, Bartlett, Brock Hardy, Casey Swiderski, Kai Oreen, Happel, Lemley. Like, that's just boy, that's gonna be an entertaining weight class.
Yeah,
That's gonna be super entertaining. So, um, yeah. So yeah, college wrestling's back. Um, should be fun. I'm excited for it.
I agree.
So, all right, moving on. Let's talk about the World Championships. Didn't exactly go the way we thought it would.
No.
Turns out the worlds are super difficult.
Yes.
You know, quite a bit of pandemonium related to like bracketing and seeding. They messed the brackets up, or they messed the early seeds up. So we thought it was like a semifinal, and then it ends up. We thought David Taylor and Sajalayev was going to be a semifinal with Kashima Poor on the other side. Ends up they're all on the same side. Taylor and Sajalayev wrestled first round, and Sajalayev won. Um, what was that final score?
It was 7-0.
7-0. Yeah.
His deciding to shoot on him is tough.
Yeah. Um, yeah. I agree. It's one of those things too, though, where like historically David Taylor's offense has been very, very, very difficult to stop. Um, but it does feel like, especially when you watch the next match that Sajalayev wrestled, if he'll let it be 1-0 at the end of the first period.
Yeah.
Like he is so cool with that. Like, yeah, whatever. We'll go 1-0 and then we'll make this kind of a short match and then you know, um, if it's 1-0 on both sides of it, the match just isn't out of reach. Any score
Yeah.
wins.
Well, I just there's no I don't think there's anybody in America that's giving that kind of chest wrap defense feel.
I don't think there's anybody in the world other than
Well,
him.
yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Cuz he doesn't just full commit to chest wrap. He does. He's got a ton of different options in there. And like
yeah,
if you haven't felt it, it's tough.
yeah, and it's different than Kyle Dakes. Kyle Dakes chest wrap, he gets guys below his knees. Sajalayev keeps guys trapped high. He keeps you
Yeah.
like above his knee, and he uses it to go both sides. And you
Yeah,
know,
well, he'll typically sprawl first, then chest wrap,
yeah, yeah,
where they kind of will like just sit on you.
yeah, sit corner and
Yeah,
use his knees and his hamstrings to kind of keep you stuck underneath. But um, yeah, I mean, it was a good match. I mean, I enjoyed watching it. It was worth watching. It is still worth watching. You just get to see two guys that one of them's competing for being the best ever of all time, and David Taylor in his own right is incredible.
yeah,
So, it was good to watch. I thought the Gashima Poor Sajalayev match was probably one of the most fun matches of the tournament in terms of last second period. Um, Sajalayev having to go back to his offense and find a score, and then just hitting that dude with the nastiest foot fake snap go behind was was pretty fun. It was pretty fun.
yeah. It was nice. You say offense, but I don't know if he scored a leg attack the whole tournament.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean I really don't know. He I'm I wonder how much of that's from his neck. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like he had neck surgery. He's like, dude, I'm not going underneath unless I absolutely have to. And then he's wrestling guys who are shooting. So he's like, perfect. Here's
yeah,
my leg. Give me points.
Yep.
But I mean, shocker, he's still really good. He's still really good, and we actually got to see Taylor wrestle Gashimapur too. So we got to see all three guys kind of basically round robin. And I thought the best match Taylor wrestled all weekend was against Gashimapur. It was the best he looked all weekend, in my opinion.
Yeah. I agree.
I mean, he did a really really good job in that match. He got to his legs, and then right after scoring, went right back and got another score, and you could just see it. I mean, that just melted Gashimapur. He it just cracked him. He still wrestled. He finished the match, but some of these senior level guys know, man, 4-0 is a long way away.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, as far as probably the most pre talked about bracket, we got to see the matches we wanted to see, and we might have learned a little bit, but I think you walk away from that tournament going, "Holy cow, those three guys are unreal."
For sure.
So,
For sure.
but then during and after the tournament, 61 kilos stole the show.
Yeah. I mean, if we we're just gonna beat a dead horse. Everyone knows.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's
Everyone knows.
not much stuff in the wrestling world ever trends, but if anything was ever going to trend, it was going to be Ono just buzz sawing through that bracket, straight through Guyev's face, and then just it's hard to say, but man, he whooped everyone.
Yeah. Uh, Side note. You saying buzzsaw made me think of a quote I heard from corner coach this weekend.
Oh, let's go.
His his kid was getting beat 14-0,
Close.
and he goes, "It's all right, buddy. Sometimes you run into buzzsaws. Sometimes the cord will come out. Just keep going." I'm like, sometimes the cord will come out. That's an
Interesting.
interesting take.
Interesting. Yeah, that's when the official fucking blows the whistle and the match is over.
Yeah, I was like,
Uh,
yikes,
you know.
yikes. Yeah,
Well,
I don't think
Oh
Ono's
no,
cord did not come out.
no,
By the way,
no. I don't even think it got rolled halfway out.
no.
That dude is so good, man. Jeez,
Yeah,
he's so good. Just
yeah,
lightning fast, super powerful. Knows exactly how he's gonna win matches. Can attack high, can attack low, and has a filthy head pinch.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
I think is Uguyev the only guy who touched his legs?
probably.
That dude's just
Um,
he's just spamming down A. Shoot, 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 snap, shoot, snap, shoot, snap, shoot.
yeah. Well, Guyev was the only guy that scored on him,
Yeah, yeah,
and the only guy he didn't
yeah,
tech fall. Yeah,
yeah. He could have though. That
yes,
there was a no two call in that match that was really sus.
yeah, or some step outs or something was happening. Yeah,
Dude, he was all the way behind him, out of bounds, and they white paddled it.
yeah,
But whatever. Ono is the man. He
yeah,
is the man, and dude, just stay healthy, stay
yeah,
healthy, stay present. Japan, give him his own temple or whatever you need to give this man to make sure he continues to wrestle. Keep him in a dungeon for all I care for the next 10 years. Human rights be damned. I want to watch more Ono compete.
yeah. Well, he's supposed to again. He's supposed to be in the States in January.
Yeah, for 3 months at Penn State.
Yeah,
That'll be cool. Um, I'm sure Penn State will really promote it on social media too.
not a chance.
So, bunch of secrets being made. But I don't know. Maybe I'll talk to some people and see if we can get out there for a couple days to just watch him train, put some eyes on him. So whatever, big fan. I did think though, it was sad to see Vito lose to him, but then we got to see Vito versus Aguyev, and that was a super good win for Vito.
Oh yeah.
Super good win for Vito. Anytime you can beat a two-time Olympic champ, I don't care where we're at, that is a good job.
Yeah.
So, Vito wrestled well, man. He just ran into a dude who's completely red hot right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than Vito and DT, quick little shout out to Kylie Welker. She double medaled this weekend, so she got a U23 medal and then stuck out there and got a senior world level medal. So that's cool for her. I was super sad for Burroughs.
Yeah.
Uh, Also, the internet goes out. Burroughs gets taken down. It's 2-0, and then boom, internet in the arena fails.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Didn't even get to see it.
Yeah.
Saw a tweet from USA Wrestling later that was just like Burroughs loses 6-4 or something like that,
Yeah.
and I was
Yeah.
like, jeez.
That was a venue issue.
Yeah, allegedly.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but yeah, man. Kind of wraps up the international season.
Yeah.
So, start the old process over again in January. So, Team USA is going to look a lot different moving forward, man. I think a lot of those guys are going to start putting shoes on the shelf. So,
Yeah.
new wave of guys coming in. Hopefully that USA success can continue.
For sure.
So, all right, that's the news. Enough of that. Let's talk about the tournament you and Coach Deeds went to this weekend. Where'd you go?
P&L Fall Nationals. That was his name, right? For his Fall
Yes.
Nationals. Yeah.
Yes, in
P&L
Kansas
Fall
City.
Nationals. And for the whatever weekend in a row, another tweaked rule set.
Yes.
Not super tweaked, but it's just different than last weekend and the weekend before.
Yeah, 3
So
weekends. So yeah, well, 4 weekends in a row, we've kind of operated in completely different rule sets, right? So we went to the P&L regional, and there were no reviews, which is totally fine. I'm cool with no reviews. They were 2-2-2s. It was kind of like a normal tournament, and then we went to Super 32, and then we had like 1 minute first periods and no reviews except in the semifinals and finals, and 2-2-2 only existed for quarters, semis, and finals. At one point, it was like a 90, 99, something like that. I don't know. Times are just completely different. Then we go to preseason nationals, and the timing is not a 2-2-2. It is, and then you have complete challenges eternally, except for
except
illegal holds. You can't challenge
yeah.
illegal holds.
But
So
guess what you could challenge at P&L this weekend?
yeah, and then P&L had
Basically basically only illegal holds is what you could challenge.
yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah, they gave us a list, or they talked to us about a list. You could challenge technical violations like block hands, illegal holds, any clock issues, um, scoring point errors. So like if they put the wrong points on the board, um, and that was like it. You could not challenge
Sequence.
control,
Yeah,
right? So if a ref scores points
those are your
and
points.
no illegal anything happened, you cannot challenge it. This just is what it is.
Yeah.
Which
Um,
I don't know. Don't have challenges in my opinion. Like for what? If you're not gonna be able to challenge things that may or may not be takedowns or back points or whatever, why even have? Why even? I don't know. It's just a really weird choice, and I guess, and I didn't really ask, but I assume it was in the trying to make the tournament run faster, which I'm sure it did because of that. But I don't know. But I was 1 for 1 on challenges this weekend. I challenged once and I won it.
What was your challenge?
That time was out and it was 2 back points instead of 3 against us.
Hey, let's go.
Yeah, so I go, I throw the brick, I throw the brick, and um, the ref's like, well, let me go check with the computer, and so I'm like, okay, and he hands me back the brick, and he goes to the towel tapper guy who didn't tap him in time,
Yeah.
and he goes, hey, was how many, how much did I swipe 2 or 3 times, whatever, and he comes back over to me and was like, I got 3 back points, and I just throw the brick. I was like, what, like. Just and then came back 2 back points.
Did we win?
No, we did not win,
Wasted
but
the challenge. Wasted
uh,
everybody's time, Coach Hodges. You know what though? You got to get your victories too. Let's
I'll
go.
tell you what, I wasn't happy at the way that ref was doing things, so it was against him as well.
Oh, hey, I like that. I
So
like that. Sometimes you got to let them know they were wrong.
yeah, well, and then so Sanders, it was against a Sanderson kid,
Yeah.
and he comes over like right after the, but he didn't see the challenge, but he comes over during it. He's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Stop throwing challenges." I'm like, "We're gonna win." He's like, "You cannot." But
Well,
yeah,
whatever. It's just God, man. It's not like there's super big differences, but we went to 4 events this fall, and you have to prepare for 4 separate events.
yeah. Well, and if we had any girls go to fall nationals, they wrestled true freestyle matches on 1 man mechanics. So
Yeah,
3 threes, 2 3 minute periods.
yeah.
And we know
Which,
what the rule set was at
dude,
preseason.
dude. I mean, here's my thing for the girls. If they're gonna do these modified folk style rules, it should be 2 3 minute periods. There's no need to have 3 periods. You
Yeah,
force them to start neutral. Just
yeah,
what?
yeah. But there's also no forced reset. So if you're on top, you're on top. If you get on top in the first 10 seconds, you're on top for 2.5 or 2 minutes and 50 seconds if you're good, which
Sure.
is fine. You earned it.
Yeah. Well, I think that if top guy gets called for stalling, it's an auto neutral.
Interesting.
Yep.
I'm
I,
still in
I
the camp. If you're winning, you've earned the right.
I mean I agree with that too. But um yeah, I think if you're called for stalling, or maybe you want to make it the second one. If I'm on top for my second stall call, bottom gets a point and gets choice of position. Fuck it. Let's go.
Yeah.
But I also don't like that because it can be heavily influenced
No.
just by a person. But overall, how was the weekend? The brackets were pretty good.
Yeah, there were some good matches and good wrestlers in the brackets.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean the weekend was fine. It was ran pretty well. They did have to switch from USA bracketing to
Flow.
Flow because there was no text message alert option for USA bracketing,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
I'm sure they're still working out. Which I think USA bracketing is going to be a good software to use once they get it ironed out.
I do too. I do too. Actually, I thought the user experience on USA bracketing was elite compared to what we have typically gotten with flow and then also track. There are some parts of flow that I like. I like the teams and competition list. That is great. That
Yeah,
is that is really good. Um, I like tracks brackets. But it felt like USA bracketing literally was like, oh, this is what people like. This is what people like. We're gonna do that. Like,
yeah,
yeah, man, listen to your consumers.
yeah. Well, that's the issue is there's really only one company now that does it. because Flow owns track as well.
Yeah.
So if there's no alternatives, there's only one choice.
Yeah, well, whatever they use for the Donnybrook is the worst.
Yeah, what was that? What was it?
I don't even know.
Yeah, it was
Like
some.
WrestleCast or something like that. I have no
Yeah,
idea. It is not was it is so bad.
yeah,
But whatever. For the as far as P&L goes, our next event is the youth duels. I'm actually super excited about it. So I think we're gonna take a pretty good team. It'll be it'll be a fun little trip in early December to Lansing, Michigan, and I love dual tournaments, man. I love them. It's easier on us as coaches. We don't have to run around the building the whole time, but it's also super fun being around the whole group of kids the entire time. Like
yeah.
I say it every year. My favorite trip is duels, whether it's 14U duels or 16U duels or junior duels. It's my favorite trip every year. It's just a tremendous amount of fun. So I'm looking forward to that.
How many how many weeks away is that? Do you know?
It's a month away.
Month away.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, it's a month away. So, all right, enough of the boring stuff. Enough of this. Let's try something a little different here, Jake. Let's
Okay.
I mean, we really don't have much to talk about. How long have we been going?
31 minutes.
All right, so let's kind of get into this. So I saw a video this weekend. Um, a guy I really like, Pat Papalizio, and he was giving props to some of the Bishop McCourt kids about how like they just show up and compete. Like they don't turn down tough competition, they don't shy away from it. Like they just they go after tough things, I guess, is kind of like what he was alluding to. And then he was also saying that like once kids get ranked high, they seem to get advice to like compete less. Um, and he might be saying that like it's associated to their ranking or it's associated to a specific dollar amount in scholarship or NIL deal that they're promised. Um, and I don't know. I don't think it's a clean answer. I think it's super complex. Um, so I think what I would like us to try to do is just kind of talk about when we think it's appropriate for kids to compete and when we think it's appropriate for them to maybe take a weekend off because we had what, two kids in the high school division this weekend.
We had we had a total of three high schoolers go to the tournament.
Yeah. Yep. um and I know maybe we do things a little differently where you work with some high school kids, I work with some high school kids, Holschlag works with some high school kids, and kind of things like that, and we're all kind of allowed to do what we think is best for that athlete unless um, we're really pushing a specific event. Um, but I kind of had the kids that I work with take the weekend off, um, and they're good wrestlers, but they also prepared really well for Super 32, and then a handful of them also did preseason nationals. And I guess what I was looking at from my kids is that I don't really want to compete that often in the fall. And that's kind of what it comes down to. We pretty much November 18th is when their high school season starts. And they are pretty much on from November 18th to July 25th.
Yeah. Well, and then and the high school season is multiple dates a week,
Yes,
which
yes.
is
They're
I
like a
don't know.
60 matches and 20 weigh-ins in
Yeah.
a 3-month period. And then as soon as high school is over, we do like the freestyle schedule. So we'll go like Vegas, we'll go um, Northern Plains regionals, we'll do duels, we'll do Fargo. Those are like the big ones. But in between there are some other competitions as well. I I guess kind of like what I think is that at some point, whether it's your sophomore year or after your sophomore year, you probably need to get a little more selective. I just don't think you need to do a ton of competition. Um, it just, especially with how much we kind of do for 12 and 14U kids. Like 12 and 14U feels like a volume time. 16U still a little bit of the volume based, but then that second 16U year or your first USA junior year, I think you start to get pretty selective, and I think that is appropriate for some of the longevity inside the sport. So, um, I guess that's just kind of how I feel. Like, how am I deciding? Well, honestly, if we're healthy and it's something that we trained for, we're gonna go. If we have any kind of health issue or concern at all, why? If it's something we're not really training for, why? Like that's just kind of where I'm at on it. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, I think. I mean, we marked specific tournaments every calendar year that we're going. Like these are the ones we're definitely doing, and I think everything else is laid out around that. And if the kid, I think there's probably a level of if the kid wants to compete, it's probably not really an issue, and he's healthy.
Yeah,
For any tournament, unless it's interfering with a specific training cycle.
yeah, for sure. I don't say no. Hey, coach, I'm
Yeah,
go. Hey, coach, I'm going. Yeah, you are. Let's go. Let's get
yeah.
it.
Well, I don't know what clip you watched, but the Bishop McCourt kids, I mean, they're wrestling premier events. I mean, at least that's what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Like, and those don't happen every single weekend.
No, no. He was just more so saying that like he feels like when a kid gets a number one, two, or three ranking, they just disappear. Like they just
Oh,
hold
I
on.
got you.
They just hold on to it. They do their high school season and then maybe like one more event.
I got you. That's okay. That's a separate issue.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I see. Um, yeah, I think. Well, I guess it depends on what your athlete's trying to get better at as well. If if they have real competition problems, then you have to go compete. Like, um, but if the athlete's been shown to compete well, then training and missing whatever competitions is fine. I think.
Yeah, yeah. It's not a one size fit all answer for sure, for sure. Like I'll use Dawson as an example. Um, our plan was to do preseason nationals, but we got back from Super 32 and his ankle was just not 100% healthy. And something like that can just nag for a long time. So he's like, hey, my ankle doesn't feel great. It's not terrible. It doesn't feel great. You know, um, what are you thinking on preseason nationals? And I was like, dude, we're not healthy. We're not going. There's like, what are we trying to prove here?
Yeah.
You know, um, but then, you can look at Hendrik Schwab. Not a great Super 32 tournament. Was very adamant that he was not going to preseason nationals, and I made him go. And I thought it was good for him. He had a pretty good preseason nationals. He competed better there than he did at Super 32.
Yeah. Well, that's an example of like he was working on his competition, not
Yeah,
like he didn't have to. Skills weren't necessarily the issue at the previous tournament.
correct, correct. So I don't know. I'm sure there are some kids out there protecting rankings. Um, I think that's a dangerous mindset to get into. Uh, it's not like you get an award for being ranked number one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, I'm sure it's cool. I'm sure some kids feel a sense of validation from it, but um, it's not like, oh, you're ranked number one by flow. Here's 10 grand.
Not directly, no.
Correct, correct. But I think the guy coaches are going to make offers to you kind of at that level if they like you, whether you're 1, 2, 4, or 10.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know. It was just an interesting video. I thought it was worth talking about, and I know we maybe we're just a little more individualized than some of the other places. Like, hey, this is on our calendar, but it's not for everyone.
Yeah, I'd say we're definitely grouped. Like this group's gonna do this, and this group probably should do this, and this group should do that.
Yeah, 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 yeah. But then even I'm saying like even inside those groups, like you know, um, Ty and Hendricks went to, or Ty and Hendricks, or sorry, Hendricks and Gavin went to preseason. Ty Martin went to P&L. It's just kind of like we're gonna kind of pick what we think is best for the athlete, no matter what. And honestly, I couldn't tell you what any of our kids are ranked. I've never looked.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think I don't know. I guess maybe I'm ignorant, but I would be surprised if there are more than a handful of kids out there really trying to protect a flow ranking.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah. I don't know. And I mean, I don't watch a ton of high school wrestling outside of our kids. I watch like the U17s and U20s and stuff, but I don't. I'm not watching like every state's state tournament
Oh,
or
there's no
anything
time.
like that.
I mean, there's no time.
No. No.
It would take you a year to get through the Georgia State tournament.
Stop it.
7 classes, bro.
Stop it.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think our high school kids are done until their season starts. Their next competition won't be till December, and our youth kids, again, like we're gonna kind of pick and choose, right? Like we got the Luff Tough tournament this weekend. I really wouldn't encourage many 7th and 8th graders to go. It's a local youth tournament. If they're like, hey, I'm going, then yeah, go ahead. But if a 7th or 8th grader is like, hey, do you want me to go to Luff Tough? I'm like, it's on you, buddy. Historically, the middle school tournament there hasn't been very good, and you're kind of there all day. So if you don't want to go, you don't have to.
Yeah.
But 6th grade and under, you guys should go. Let's scrap. Let's go have some fun. Let's compete. So, I guess for our maybe more committed kids, Tulsa kickoff is what's next.
Yep.
And here's what I will say though. Um, the year, if you're the young side of the division, I don't care. I don't want to hear it. Well,
Yeah.
we're not gonna go. It's our down. Shut up. I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
That's just like the worst thing. You just come to me and be like, "Hey, coach, we're poor, can't afford it." Hey, man, I get it. We can have them go with another family if you want to, right? Like we can do whatever, but just don't hit me with this nonsense of like, well, it's our down year and blah blah. Stop, stop. Don't
Yeah.
build in excuses. Why are we going?
Uh.
Why are
Yeah.
we going? We're going to compete. We're gonna go have a little bit of fun, and we're just gonna go wrestle. Like this just does not have to be uh just that you're not don't protect them from losing.
Yeah. Well, if you scale that mindset up, then they're gonna. I mean, then essentially they're not supposed to wrestle their freshman, sophomore, or junior year of college.
Or high school.
It's their. Well, yeah, yeah. It's their. There's their young years. We're just gonna wait.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, there's freshmen winning NCAA titles.
correct.
So
On their young year,
yeah,
even though they're probably 10 years older than the other freshmen.
sometimes.
So
But yeah, I agree. It's not a good. It's not a good excuse.
that one kills me. I would rather like, hey, I just don't know if we're good enough to go there. And then I'll be like, yeah, you might not be. But is it worth more? I guess for us, is it worth more going to Tulsa, getting experienced by it, wrestling some of the best kids in the country, and maybe getting a little wake up call, maybe a little cold shower? Is that worth more than going to another youth local where you pin everybody in the first period? I would argue it is.
Yeah.
If you want to be a wrestler.
Yeah.
If you don't want to be a wrestler, it's not. I mean, yeah, go to the locals, have fun. You know, it's just wrestling better kids makes you better.
Yep.
So, all right, well, maybe we'll keep doing some of this coaching perspective talk. I have no idea. We're still trying to figure this stuff out.
Yeah.
I do. I am. I'm currently working on. Um, it's definitely not a book. I'm not gonna call it a book, but maybe a short story of sorts about the formative years and about maybe some of the behaviors we need to try to employ um, to set our kids up for success after the formative years. Um, Maybe when that's done, we can spend an episode on it and see if that provides any value to people. But there's a lot of evidence out there to support that pretty much whatever happens to you between the age of 8 and 15 forms you for basically life. You can make changes after the age of 15, sure, absolutely. But that's going to require like real conscious effort and um, like really digging into yourself and working on things. And most 16-year-olds can't do that. It's gonna you're just not gonna cross that bridge until you're 25, 26, 27, maybe later. You
Yeah.
know, so um, I think how we talk to our kids and stuff like that during those years is actually super important. And um, I think we can all, myself included, probably monitor these behaviors from us to our kids a little better. So we'll see how it's received. I don't know. I don't want anybody to think I'm telling them how to parent their kids, but um, some things are better than others, and you just don't have to really move too far to draw that conclusion.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. This might evolve into a little bit of a coaching podcast. Who knows? I have no idea. But let's let's do our freaking clip of the week.
Well, I pulled it up. We'll see if it's any good.
Otaguru, let's go.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right.
Well, there you go.
I mean, that's not bad.
No.
I don't have any beef with
Uh,
this.
no, it's kind of wild.
Nice little high leg, half cartwheel defense.
Red has to make a mistake here.
I mean, just oh yeah, did you see it?
Yeah, the was it the Bosco toe rotation?
This is just getting renamed the Booker toe.
Yeah.
Holy cow!
Yeah.
puts that
All
toe
right.
out. Hips can only go one way.
Yep. Yikes.
Odagoro was nasty, man. He had some filthy stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
He's really good.
yeah, he's kind of like one of their, I guess, like where Japan is at today. He's one of their like founding fathers on the men's side.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, in recent years, they've had some studs at 50 kilos in the past, but he's definitely played a big role into this current success that they've had, for sure. I
Yeah.
mean, I
And he
like it.
might have been the guy. He got hurt at one of the qualifying tournaments, I think.
Yes, yes.
Um, Also, somebody's been uploading Ono videos of Japan wrestle offs, basically like their
Yeah.
Japan Championship, and Kiyuka beat him like 11-0. I haven't watched it yet.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, I need to watch it. But Kiyuka's the 65 kilo Olympic champ for them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I know Ono got third at the Asian Championships at 65.
Did you see how he lost though?
No.
He got arm thrown by Ochir
Oh,
into a headlock finish, and he
on
pinned him.
brand. On brand.
And literally, like, I think it was the first period. I don't know, gets hook, or they get like over under or hook or whatever, and just the best arm throw in the world to headlock finish. Pinned him.
Yeah, well, actually, that kind of makes sense because Ono punches that hook pretty aggressively, and Ochir is an overhook demon.
Yeah.
And Ochir's definitely got some age and experience on him, and size clearly. But that's that's interesting because
Yeah.
what's his name? Amuzad won that bracket. Ochir got silver, and then Ono got bronze, and I can't remember who the other bronze was, but uh, that's a salty little bracket.
Yeah.
But yeah, Japan's red hot right now.
Yeah. They're making the argument for. I mean, they're definitely one of the best countries,
Yeah,
if
well, they
not.
do. They do all three styles, right? Like, there's only one country. Oh, yeah, it's so tough because Iran doesn't allow women to wrestle.
Yeah.
If if Iran let their women wrestle, you would have to assume that they're as competitive because they care about wrestling. So because Iran is so good at Greco too. Jeez, they're good at Greco.
Yeah.
But all three styles. Sorry, it's 21st century. Japan's freaking rolling.
Yeah. Their women are good.
The best.
Yeah, they are the best.
Japan women are more dominant than any country has been on the men's side ever.
That's probably accurate.
And they're fun to watch.
Yeah.
So
What are you eating? Is that a fiver?
2 pound bag, my guy.
2 pound?
Yeah.
Oh.
These are Albanese. They're called world's best, and I'm gonna have to agree.
Albanese, you have earned the right to sponsor our show.
Albanese
Get in
world's
touch.
best. Um, Sour 12 flavor mini gummy worms.
Mini gummy worms.
They're like normal gummy worms, but
Oh.
what's the brand that does they do like the octopuses and all that stuff?
Trolley or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're garbage compared to these.
Yeah, listen, the Albanese gummy bears are elite as well.
Yeah, I don't know what's in them. Cancer for sure, but
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Just the
it's
most.
it's sour cancer, and I love it.
And on that note,
Yeah, my goal is to just not eat 2 pounds of gummy worms today. Like that's kind of like where the bar is at.
That seems like a good plan.
Yeah, it does, but I'll have one now. That was a weird color combo. But all right. Episode was that 3 or 4?
This is 4.
I think I said episode 3 at the start. Episode 4.
I think it's
Done.
4.
Who cares?
Whatever.
Election Tuesday. Let's go.
Oh my god. We're done. We're done.